Hi, my name is Hannah Swarm. I am in the College of Communication getting my Master of Arts, and I am from the Chicago suburbs, so Naperville, Illinois. My research at Marquette has focused on political communication. So my first semester at Marquette, I took a course in political communication and really enjoyed it, and that got me interested in doing more research in that area. So my thesis focuses on political consumerism specifically, and it looks at how family communication patterns growing up affect one's involvement in political consumerism during adulthood. I also looked at how political consumerism can lead to additional political activity, both online and offline. So there are a lot of key differences between offline and online political activities, so I wanted to see if there were any differences there and if political consumers tend to be more active in political activity in general. I found that different family communication environments can both lead to more political consumption during adulthood. Specifically, I looked at high conformity and high conversation family communication environments. So high conversation families, they engage in open and spontaneous conversations about a variety of topics, whereas high conformity families really emphasize the uniformity of beliefs, attitudes, and values. So there's a lot more agreement stress in that family communication environment. So I found that both types of family communication environments can lead to political consumerism. I also found that political consumers are politically active in general. So they both, political consumers tend to engage in both online and offline political activity during adulthood. I also studied the mediation effect of political consumerism. And by that, I mean that I wanted to look at how family communication, the relationship between family communication and political activity can be mediated by political consumerism. So I found that even though there's a direct relationship between family communication during childhood and political activity during adulthood, political consumerism can amplify that effect. So if family communication inspires more political consumption, then that can increase the degree of political activity during adulthood. I think that one thing that was super interesting I found was the degree of involvement in both offline and online political activities. So this is really important because there's been a lot of concerns related to reduced voter turnout and political apathy. So a lot of scholars have argued that political consumerism might be an alternative form of politics and people are turning away from less conventional forms. But my study's results found that political consumerism is a supplement to other forms of political activity, and political consumers engaged in both offline and online political activities. So there's not necessarily an exclusive form of political participation that people participate in. I would also say that another really exciting part about the research was that I never thought I would do quantitative research. And my master's program has introduced me to that, and I was excited to learn these new programs and how to run these different analyses. So throughout this thesis process, I learned how to use the program Stata and Amos, and it was just really fascinating to try something completely different from qualitative research. So throughout my program, I've been able to do both qualitative and quantitative, but I feel like I learned a lot through that process and learning these new programs. So I chose Marquette because I really liked the flexibility of the program. There are 2 tracks you can take. So you could specialize in digital communication strategies or communication and media studies, and you could take classes in both of those specializations. So I really liked knowing that I could enter the program and go down either one of those tracks. I ended up specializing in communication and media studies and have really enjoyed that. I also decided to choose Marquette because I'm from the Chicago area, so it was nice to be close to home. I've heard wonderful things about Milwaukee, and I also wanted to try out more of a city school. So my undergrad was in a much more rural environment, so I was excited to go to school in more of a city environment. After graduating from the master's program, I am looking for a job. I'm open to a lot of different areas, whether that be marketing, HR, research specifically within political communication would be fantastic. But I am looking at a lot of different options, and we'll just go from there.